For nearly 6,000 years, two human skeletons lay undisturbed beneath the soil of northern Italy, their arms still wrapped around one another in a final embrace. Archaeologists would later name them the lovers of Valdero. They had no written story, no names, and no surviving descendants. Yet their silent pose spoke across millennia. But this is where the mystery truly begins. Love did not emerge from poetry, fairy tales, or modern civilization. Long before the first cities rose, before the first words were carved into stone, evolution had already written love into the human brain itself. In the next section, we'll journey to a 34,000-year-old burial in Russia, where thousands of ivory beads reveal that love, grief, and devotion may have been shaping human destiny since the Ice Age. Thousands of kilometers away from Italy, another discovery tells an even older story. At the Ice Age site of Sunghir in present-day Russia, archaeologists uncovered a burial unlike anything they had expected. One individual had been carefully adorned with nearly 3,000 ivory beads carved from mammoth tusks. Crafting each bead required patience, precision, and countless hours of labor. Together, they represented thousands of hours devoted to someone who would never wear them again. Why would a prehistoric community invest so much time in the dead when every day was a struggle to survive? The answer may reveal one of humanity's oldest instincts, the need to care for those we love, even when there is nothing practical to gain. This raises an even bigger question. If love inspired sacrifices tens of thousands of years ago, where did this extraordinary emotion come from? According to biological anthropologist Helen Fisher, romantic love is not a single emotion, but three interconnected systems working together: lust, attraction, and attachment. Each relies on a different chemical language inside the brain, yet together they create one of the most powerful forces in human history. What do you think? If you had lived 34,000 years ago, would you have spent thousands of hours honoring someone you loved after they were gone? Let us know in the comments. To understand why love feels almost impossible to resist, we have to travel back millions of years, long before modern humans, before language, perhaps even before the first campfire. Imagine standing on the African savanna around 3.5 million years ago. Our ancestors had begun walking upright, a revolutionary step that transformed everything. As the pelvis narrowed to support efficient bipedal movement, childbirth became far more difficult. At the same time, human brains continued to grow larger. This created what scientists call the obstetric dilemma. Babies had to be born earlier, weaker, and far more dependent than the young of almost any other mammal. Unlike a foal that can stand within hours, a human child would need years, sometimes more than a decade, of protection, food, and teaching before becoming independent. Evolution faced a serious problem. How could such vulnerable offspring survive in a world filled with predators, disease, and starvation? One remarkable solution may have been romantic attachment itself. Love became a biological commitment device, encouraging two adults to remain together long enough to raise children whose survival depended on teamwork rather than strength alone. Here's something to think about. If human babies had been born able to care for themselves, would love have become such a powerful force in our lives? Share your thoughts below. If love evolved to keep families together, how did our ancestors show it before flowers, letters, or wedding rings existed? The answer may have begun with something far more practical: food. Around 1.8 million years ago, evidence suggests that Homo erectus was no longer gathering food only for immediate survival. Instead, individuals appear to have regularly shared meat and other valuable resources with specific companions. This behavior, known as mate provisioning, was more than generosity. It was an investment. Bringing food home signaled reliability, commitment, and the ability to help raise future offspring. In many ways, today's dinner date may be an echo of one of humanity's oldest courtship rituals. But food wasn't the only message. Nearly 100,000 years ago, people living in Blombo's cave in South Africa carefully collected seashells, engraved ochre with intricate patterns, and decorated their bodies with pigments. None of these ornaments made them faster hunters or stronger fighters. Instead, they sent a different signal. I am creative. I have skill. I have time and resources to spare. Evolutionary biologists call this costly signaling, displaying qualities that are difficult to fake and attractive to potential partners. What do you think? Are modern gifts, fashion, and expensive dates really so different from the shells and red ochre our ancestors used thousands of generations ago? Tell us your opinion in the comments. Now imagine meeting a man who should never have survived. More than 50,000 years ago, in what is now northern Iraq, a Neanderthal known as Shanidar I lived with injuries that would have been devastating even by modern standards. His right arm had been lost or rendered useless. He was blind in one eye. His legs showed signs of severe damage, leaving him with a permanent limp. Yet despite these disabilities, he lived to approximately 45 to 50 years old, an extraordinary age for his time. He could not have survived alone. Someone gathered food for him. Someone protected him during dangerous hunts. Someone cared for him through sickness, season after season, year after year. Even more remarkable, archaeological evidence suggests that Neanderthals understood the healing properties of certain plants. Chemical traces found in dental calculus indicate the use of medicinal vegetation, including species containing salicylic acid, the natural compound that inspired modern aspirin, to ease pain and reduce fever. These discoveries challenge one of the oldest stereotypes about our ancient cousins. Survival was not built on strength alone. Compassion may have been just as important. Perhaps love did not begin with romance at all. Perhaps it first appeared as the simple decision to refuse to abandon someone in need. Here's a question for you. Do you think compassion was the trait that truly separated humans and our relatives from other predators? We'd love to hear your thoughts below. Eventually, love found a new home, not in bones or buried ornaments, but in words. Around 4,000 years ago, in ancient Mesopotamia, a Sumerian clay tablet preserved what is widely regarded as the oldest surviving love poem in human history. Written for King Shusin, it spoke of longing, admiration, beauty, and desire with emotions that feel surprisingly familiar today. Across 4 millennia, the language has changed, but the heartbeat behind those words has not. Yet history reveals a fascinating contradiction. For most civilizations, marriage was rarely about romance. It was an economic alliance, a political strategy, or a way to secure inheritance, land, and family influence. Love was often considered unpredictable, sometimes even dangerous, because it could challenge social expectations and established power. Despite these cultural differences, the biological drive behind romantic attachment never disappeared. A cross-cultural study of 166 societies found evidence of romantic love in approximately 88.5% of them, suggesting that love is not a uniquely Western invention or a recent cultural trend. Instead, it appears to be a deeply rooted feature of human nature, expressed through different traditions, languages, and customs. Civilizations may shape how we celebrate love, but evolution appears to have written the first chapter long before civilization itself. From prehistoric burials to ancient poetry, the evidence points to one remarkable conclusion. While civilization has transformed the way we meet, communicate, and build relationships, the biology behind love has changed very little. Every racing heartbeat, every sleepless night, every moment of longing is powered by neural circuits that evolved millions of years ago to help our ancestors survive and raise the next generation. Understanding that history makes one thing clear: love is more than an emotion. It is one of humanity's oldest evolutionary superpowers. If you enjoyed exploring the science and history behind one of our deepest emotions, don't forget to subscribe, and join us for the next documentary, where we'll uncover another hidden chapter of ancient human life. Until then, thank you for watching.